Test. Check. 1, 2.
Oh, I have to do this telephone gag thing. Oh, it's a telephone call. It's for you, Stan. Maybe.
Hi, Stanley. You remember me, don't you? I hope so. I don't have one of those twinkly outfits on right now, but you should remember the voice at least. Stan, this is a great night for you. You deserve to be honored because you're an extraordinary person and you're an extraordinary, brilliant, technical mind. I've known you for a long time and I've never met anyone quite like you. In many ways, you have presented my show from a sound point of view extraordinarily in the most difficult places imaginable. Stan, you and I have played toilets and we've played palaces, and you always seem to come up with great sound. And for that, I am always going to be grateful to you. You know that I love you, and I wish I could be there with you tonight to congratulate you on this honor. It's well deserved, and I'm right at the front of the line of Stan Miller fans. So you enjoy yourself tonight, and I'll be seeing you from the stage at the next sound check. Good night, Stanley.
Cracking roads, you get on board. We gonna ride till there ain't no more to go.
Stan Miller has been audio engineer for one of pop music's greatest stars, Neil Diamond, for 42 years and counting. He's also been behind the board for many other pop legends. That would be more than enough to enshrine his legacy. But he has also pushed concert sound to astounding new levels. In his own words, he's a guy who's always out on a limb.
Stan has his own take on technology. He has his own way of doing things. Some discounted him as an odd duck, which was obviously a mistake.
Stan is a pretty crazy guy in a good way. And throughout his career, he's always been reinventing himself.
Stan Miller took concert sound from this to this. Pure digital sound. Miller grew up in Kearney, Nebraska. In high school, he found himself building speakers with a teacher and some friends. When he heard the sound system they built in the school gym, he said, "I was blown away by the sound, and that sparked my love for audio." He would build amps and speakers and DJ local sock hops. Soon, he was providing sound for big acts coming through the Midwest. With groups like the New Christy Minstrels and the Young Americans, he toured overseas. In 1967, he found himself in Vermillion, South Dakota, working a double bill that included a young Neil Diamond. 42 years later, he has not missed a single show. Miller's position within the Diamond organization was unusually commanding, for a sound guy.
Along about 1976, I had the opportunity to be considered as tour manager for Neil Diamond. It was made clear to me that I had to pass muster with Stan Miller. Neil so trusted Stan that if someone couldn't get along with him, there was no need to go further.
But Miller was not content with merely running sound. He was determined to shape it. Hired for Sonny and Cher, he applied his self-taught rigging skills and spent 6 weeks hanging the speakers. During the 1970s, he founded Stan'll Sound.
I started working for Stan'll Sound when I was in my early 20s. Stan was this quintessential Midwesterner who was always developing new products. If you looked at the other sound companies, the owners always started at mixers and later became business managers, but not Stan. He was always a mixer.
In 1972, Diamond recorded his historic Hot August Night at the Greek Theater in Los Angeles. Miller had no mixing console, so he built one that had 24 inputs and 12 outputs. He patched it together with a pin matrix system to route the signal to multiple speaker sources. He had to be concerned for the audience as well as the recording, and this involved everything from putting speakers in trees to choosing mic placement. Alltech Lansing realized that he knew how to make great speaker boxes. We came up with the name Stanley Screamers from the Stanley Steamer. The Stanley Screamers were so revolutionary that notoriously hard-to-please members of Pink Floyd insisted they be used on their historic live concert version of The Wall. Later, he designed and built the JBL Concert Series. This was one of the first systems that could be rigged and hung as a complete component, and he developed the rigging for it. When Yamaha began developing early digital mixers, Miller immediately got it and started a lifelong association with the company. While in Japan with Stevie Wonder, he went to the company's headquarters and played an important role in developing the first PM1016 prototype mixer. Larry Italia of Yamaha says he saw the advantages and ultimate improvement that digital technology offered before anyone. From Miller's support of the PM1D to today's PM5D, he dared to create a system that gave total control and clarity while others were fine with the status quo. Today, when Neil Diamond tours, it's 100% digital sound.
Stan's still obsessed with audio. Most of the other guys, as they get older, they don't push the envelope. He's just the opposite. The further he's gotten in his career, the more he pushes himself.
Yamaha's Larry Italia is probably only slightly exaggerating when he says, Stan really just wants to get to the point where he can run a tour sound system from his bed and breakfast. Today, Miller lives in Big Bear, California with his life partner of 20 years, Thomas Mechanic. Together, they manage their 12-room bed and breakfast Knickerbocker mansion. Oh, and he's still using his saw.